Soviets and Soviets, the Red Army, how y'all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru, hello.
And folks, we brought you one terrible map from the Terrible Divisions tournament over here on Tuesday. On Thursday, we deliver another helping from Tali Ihantala. This kind of wretchedly blue map. Rank, who is fighting on this godforsaken land?
Well, on the left-hand side in blue, we have PUriTanner playing as Group Harteneck Flatline income. And the right-hand side, we have a Metalphase playing as 126th Mountain Corps with a Flatline income.
So it's worth noting here that Group Harteneck, like, we know this is not a bad division, so we can hear you guys. You want to tell us, trust man, I understand.
It has gotten worse since the patch, because the Hungarian infantry no longer have the super fast firing rifles, which kind of makes them like not as awesome as they were.
Not as awesome as they were, but still, they still are quite capable as far as divisions go.
Still, like, pretty decent.
Mm-hmm. I do love how this PTRS dived out of their vehicle and chucked a grenade in the way. So, keeping things safe here, but I think this Pack 40 and 184 is going to get murked pretty quickly by this BT-7s charging towards it.
Yeah, and we also have not one, not two, but three mortar half-tracks being brought out immediately, which is such a uncommon player we see. And that could prove to be very fatal, because, I mean, fatal for, well, both sides really, depending on how he uses mortar half-tracks, if he gets his money's worth. Because that's a lot of points not invested in frontline units here.
True, but you can see right now already, he's bringing in more, he's bringing in hussars, he's bringing in a hetzer. He's got some heavier material positioned here. Biggest problem, though, is that there are still PT-7s or PTRSs, and there's a ton of groups moving on forward, especially with Gornostrelkovy, Sapiris, and Morskaya Pekovta's Automachikis moving in too, so.
Yeah, it's sort of very ballsy maneuver early on for Metalphase. I mean, we're seeing him doing the BT-7 rush, which is always very good early on because he got that high speed. Even doing it on the far flank of the south here, which is terrible infrastructure. But this could work, because this is a very hard area to push this southern side, because you got, you know, big bloody lake really blocking all line of sight. And here comes the BT-7s, getting an ambush on the hussars here.
Oh yeah, they'll turn into shreds. Like, that's the thing about this map, is that with the infrastructure being as poor as it is wretchedly difficult to get forward. Yeah.
It's like a lot of open spaces as well, which really open you up to your anti-tanks. Yeah, actually, this map really reminds me of a war game map. I know you haven't played war game, but from like my experience, it's aesthetic and just how it's laid out, really reminds me a lot of war game.
War game, isn't that the game you're cheating on me with every once in a while?
Oh yeah, it's my side hustle.
Oh, the pieces of my broken heart could pass through a needle. Hetzer, in the meantime, is engaging some of these troops coming on in, and these Studebaker trucks, well, they don't have quite the same kind of skin that you might expect of a much more resilient vehicle. And I actually really like this redeployment of these mortar half-tracks coming in down from the south, trying to reduce this huge blob, which has carved a massive hole in PUriTanner's immediate front.
Yeah, and that's really the benefit of having stealth-propelled artillery, is that they can propel their artillery by themselves to the designated location. And he really does need to stand south, because this is a pretty major threat to his line. As you can see, Tanner's already losing by a -2 at his end. And he really needs to get this sorted. Because right now, yeah, Metals is, you know, putting in all the reinforcements to try and hold your southern flank.
But it was so sneaky. You think his name actually was Metal Gear as opposed to Metal Phase. All I was missing is a cardboard box. Jaeger Pioneers and the Jaeger MG42 being brought on in to kind of go and stem the bleeding, and I think this actually would be more than enough to do so, at least in this absolute southern part of this push. The northern part, I think the mortars are going to have to be brought in to really push back those DPs and those Mosins. So
yeah. To really push on this map, you do have to fight through the forest, and that's really where 126 gets the advantage, is they have some pretty nice CQC infantry. Tanner, not so much. I mean, with the Hungarians being nerfed, they lose a lot of firepower, but even like pre-nerf, it didn't really have that much in terms of good CQC troops. for Harteneck. I think maybe got like a few STG blokes from the Jaegers, or the Reiter Jaegers.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the first mortar shells are falling in right now, so look to watch these groupas all get a little bit more compacta.
Yeah, they're two grouped together.
You know, I thought I had a joke there somewhere, but you picked it up before I could. Well done. P grunts in the meantime to the south.
The part was like a joke.
I tried, but it wasn't really working. Let's see. P grunt's actually being rushed to the north. This is interesting. I know the lines there are definitely a little more sag-y. But then this Jaeger MG42 should be more than enough to kind of keep infantry where it is.
Mm-hmm.
And this Hetzer looking down this road. That should be more than enough to keep the BT-7s quite undercover, so that works pretty well as well.
Yeah, in this more long-range engagement, the Panzer Grenadiers do have the advantage, as they do have the MG42s. But the Moskaya, it's really just bolt-action rifles in their end. They really want to get a bit more close to actually do damage.
I was gonna say, well, they have the PPS and the PP Shah, but no, the PP Shah is just, that's one dude.
I got four. No, I got 4 of him.
I was looking at the Moskaya Pakotas.
Yeah, they got 4.
Oh yeah, you're right. Wow, geez, I got lost in the forest there for a second. That was dumb. Ugh. Hetzer in the meantime out of APCR shells. Oh, what a shame. How will he ever kill the BT-7s now?
Oh, there's a furball down south, yo. We got elite Messerschmitts trying to go against this P40. And
furball looked like a scratching post.
Yeah. There's the second P40, yo.
And this ME-109's gonna get a nice little deflection.
Yeah. And even though it's a not the best 109 or 2-star infantry, it has pretty ridiculous agility.
Except the speed on the P40, I always forget how much slower versus how much faster they become after the fact. ME-109 might get a burst off, maybe one, but it doesn't look like it. Wow.
No, that P40 is a lean, mean flying machine.
I was gonna say going, gone, but I suppose yours works just as well. Mortars continue to be hot and heavy over here, aiming for the Sapiris and the Moskaya Pakotas and the Moskaya Kamratis over here in this north-central forest, leaving those Jaeger Pioneers and the Hussars to their own devices, trying to push back these other Morskayas and DP Grupas. It'll be enough, but it's going to take them a heck of a lot longer to really kind of get effective.
Yeah. And as we see, Tanner is slowly pushing back Metalphase from that initial breakout, but it's going to take him a little bit because Metalphase has pretty good defensive positions, and his infantry, especially the Sapiris down south, are in a pretty nice position to get some ambushes on with TNT. They're probably going to die eventually, but seeing how those Jaeger Pioneers are so bunched up, I think Satchels might prove to be pretty deadly.
Indeed, it looks that way.
Yeah.
Oof. I was watching as the mortar half-tracks seem to be ready and raring to go. Oh, yep, here again. Guys, we watched Tanner recently go and give us a really great way of how to use artillery, and we're going to see that again right now. Mortar half-tracks, 3 different barrage areas, all very close to each other. Takes out one squad, gonna push another one into at least retreat, if not full-out surrender.
Mm-hmm.
Fire 3 rounds, and he's already done. Again, that really is the way to use all of that. Ooh, pack 184. With the 45 mils, you're going to be able to get a shot at that BT-7 here. Yes, here you will. Before the BT-7 turns, well, somehow he bounces the first round, but at second he double clicks, and that gets rid of the issue.
And we got one more BT-7 behind enemy lines here, but it's a T-34, and he's pretty, happy to say hello to his, I guess, former brethren. Yeah.
So watch the T-34 get taken out by this. Man, he needs stabilizers.
Yeah, BT-7's probably a little bit freaked out. He's behind enemy lines with no help, and there's a bunch of armor which wants to blow him up.
Maybe he's
trapping a deer.
Maybe he's in Elysium and he's already dead. There, he's definitely dead now.
Mm-hmm. No coming back from yet.
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Look, you've got like a PCS squad all the way down south here, managing like a real sneaky flank.
We also have 3 ME-109s going in after this P-40. He was going for the mortar half-track, and actually, I loved that decision. That was a really high-risk, high-reward kind of play. Regrettably, high risk is for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, the mortar half-tracks are really common in clutch. As any, you know, major group of Russian infantry just gets completely shredded.
And the Opel Blitz, of course, being brought in to kind of go and back him up. Yep, to resupply those mortars, because they're going to be out of rounds soon. There's 75 mil actually to the north. That's interesting. The Feldkanone 231.
Bless you. Yeah, it's
captured French
like
cannon.
old, yeah, old crappy gun. But it's cheap. And if it makes high explosives, I guess that's all that really matters.
Exactly. Exactly. If it makes red things dead, well, it's better dead than red, so that works out pretty well. It's kind of funny, actually, we have the Pak 184, the Russian, and the 45 mil, the M42. These are exactly the same gun.
Yeah, it's just captured.
Well, and they're staring at each other just with like harsh words across from the lake on the other side of each other. You were supposed to be the chosen anti-tank gun. You were supposed to just kill the Germans, not join them.
From my point of view, you're wrong.
From my point of view, communism is evil.
Then you are lost.
I failed you, Vanya.
Then the 45 mil tries to jump over the lake, and then he gets shot in midair.
And he falls into the lake.
Yeah.
and drowns.
Yeah.
And scene.
Yeah. Well, that was something.
You know, there are times I feel like we tend to have the greatest hits, right? You know? 200 cast in, it's still going strong. But
someone needs to go through him.
Please. You know what? If you guys do that, man, I don't know what I can give you, but I'll give you something.
Mm-hmm.
Still one more Skya Pakota over here. He's still holding on to a little bit of territory. It doesn't matter that he's holding on to it anymore, because it's worthless ground.
Yeah, it's no flag, so it's no point.
But I do love the fact that we actually have 2 more Moskaya Pakotas that are going to make this end run around the lakeside. And there's still a Zis down. I think there's a Zis down there too. This is so bizarre.
Yeah, he sneaked it in. Yeah, it's been pretty aggressive trying to move stuff along its far southern flank. It's a very narrow corridor, and it does take forever to actually get through it. But you can do some pretty sneaky maneuvers. And that's this too, yeah, it's in a pretty sneaky spot. And we've got all these attack beacons. Are these going to be essentially artillery locations? That's what I'm guessing.
Well, the weird thing is that he was targeting to the north, so I don't know if he wants to reposition and then fire, or fire and then reposition, you know, or reposition while firing. I don't know.
One way or another, he's going to fire.
One thing he's got to watch out for, though, is we have a couple of Lees coming onto the field. And while these things aren't going to cause too much of a hassle, those dual guns on them tend to be a bit of a uphill battle, shall we call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, here we go. Here's the artillery barrage, and Vladislav within the first 2 salvos are going to start pushing. Here we go. Any second now. Okay, he's making me a liar. Anyway. Not so much the caster's curse, it's just like a lack of respect for the caster, so... Tanner, I'm watching you, buddy.
He had to spite you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's all a conspiracy, man. Just saying.
Of course it is.
Look into it.
It's a lizards, man. It's ninjas on the front lawn. They're trying to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here we go. Shots up. And Airslash actually leading the way. So, well, it's the meat shield attack. Watch the Slash moving in behind it. There we go. And the spacing is working against him a little bit more, but jeez.
Yeah, that's pretty perfect timing, because the Soft troops are going to be able to get in.
Yeah, but the 820 Boston was just brutal.
Oh.
That was a brilliantly timed bomber.
Yeah. That's like the perfect counter bomb. And now he's going to counter artillery with his 203 off snap.
I'll see your question and raise you another question. What's a 203 millimeter shell do to an unarmored Pigren? Same thing it does to everything else. But mortar shells proving just as effective and a heck of a lot more mobile and lasting, I'd argue.
Yeah, it's really been like zipping them up and up and down again. That's like the pretty nice thing about mortar half-tracks is the ability to just relocate wherever the hell you please.
What I'm trying to watch right now is just this T-34-42 gets taken out by Elite. That's embarrassing. Yikes.
Yeah, at least in a pretty good defensive position here. But one Stoss troop does manage to get into the forest, and he might nick a surrender or two. Messerschmitt trying to keep him a little bit scared.
Well, now we have a, I don't know, it's like a Popeye anchor symbol being dropped down for smoke here in the south. I actually really like this. He's walking smoke all the way towards that town. These Hussars coming in.
Yeah, it is. Really
Guys,
good smoke barrage.
Again, if you want to learn how to use artillery effectively, just watch Tanner's games. He really does it well.
Like it's really refreshing to see good artillery playing 1v1s. It's usually always this off map. And I'm saying this as a person who does not like how artillery works in SD2 in general.
Yeah.
But how he's using it is like, it's fun to watch and it's like really well done.
Yeah. But look at this here. He's knifing in. He's going to take out this Maxim, this M42, and a couple of squads here to the south. He's going to control this entire field.
Yeah. Like he's pre-artillery in the town just in case anything in there, and artillery in the forest. Like, this is perfect. this is how you do a goddamn push. And he's not hitting his own troops with the artillery. It's just like just danger close enough for it to be safe.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And it's going to cap him that town. That's a pretty huge point to hold on to. If he can get some extra reinforcements in there, some AT guns in the forest to the flanks, that's pretty damn good.
Well,
yeah, he's got the Ersatz troop and being brought in.
I was just say, yeah, he's bringing them, definitely those wusses. But here comes a 203 in an opposition. So mortar shells coming on in, take out the Ersatz troop and whoop-de-doo. But yeah, watch as the mortars in turn get blasted to smithereens. Yes, he's going to drop smoke, I think, and it'll be a very, very quick counter barrage.
Yeah.
And there's a 203. But Tanner is he's starting to work the corners here too. Yes, his southern flank is not wonderful. You can see the Moskaya Pekota has made it back to a 12-12. And indeed, he might even push to cut off the reinforcement point. That'd be embarrassing.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, the PTRS has already killed stuff. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Got like a truck and another truck. So some infantry. If he shuts down that southern reinforcement spawn, I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to really do much of it because it's such a pain in the ass to get like reinforcements to hold on. But I just, delay Tanner from, really doing any work on the front line by having to worry about his rear. And look at the PTRS. I wonder if Tanner's realizing this. Cause
oh my god.
Oh.
I didn't even see what came in.
It's just 2 Scrotch, but they're dead now. I wonder if Tanner realizes what the hell's going on.
Well, that town is very safely underneath Metalphase's control. Well done there. Yep, he sees it. There's an Ersatz trooper who's just like hoofing it in. He didn't even get there to ride the trucks in. It was like, dude, you are sitting. You're on sniper duty.
But yeah, it seems like Tanner's starting to focus a little bit on the far northern flank. He's got Stu 42 giving some lovely fire support, and the Hussarooks pushing back the Pekotas.
Yeah, but it's one of the nice things I actually kind of appreciate about this too. Well, first of all, nice deployment of the Zisses. Enough to take out one of the ME-109s already. Jeez.
Nice. Yeah, they got the Trin 25s, which are pretty damn good.
Last artillery, by the way, looking to take out the Jaeger Pioneers and Hussars just to the southwest of the town. What I was going to say is I like actually still using the air power to kind of go and hint that he's supposed to go someplace else. That he's going to go and effectively be pushing over here in the center just again. But now I think he's given it up. I think he's definitely given away that sneakiness.
Yeah. And Metal using some artillery of his own with a 76 mil. mountain howitzers. So yeah, both sides starting to invest pretty heavily-ish. You know, I mean, pretty heavy for 1v1 for artillery. And he's trying to counter battery the mortar half tracks.
Justifiably. I mean, that's exactly what you want to get rid of.
Yeah. It is a very hard thing to counter battery because they can move and, you know, pretty, you know, decently armored.
Well, if they take out the one Opal Blitz, that's not such a big deal. The RSO, that's a bit more of a hassle.
Yeah.
And I was wondering when we were going to see something heavy. Here comes the Tiga moving on in.
Oh yeah, they got Tigers.
AC-120 bomb. Oh, jeez. The AC-20C. Watch this take out the front. Yep.
Now, imagine if they actually had an AC-120 Khan. You know, it'd actually be pretty balanced. Because it's like a pretty slow and big plane. I'm fairly certain a Messerschmitt could shoot it down. You know, it sounds like some sort of weird scenario.
I'm sure there's something ridiculous like that. And you know what, considering how slow the Messerschmitt is moving, I imagine they were just like, okay, turn to the right, boys, and fire 20 mil.
It's like that whole thing about how this is the thing I've heard, so don't like quote me on this. Like how a P-51 Mustang could like beat an A-10 Warthog in a dogfight. Even though, as we all know, an A-10 was not designed to dogfight in those modern plane beds. I'll leave it at that.
Well, that was the thing I was going to follow up with, but I imagine just the agility piece is probably what separates the two of them.
Yeah. But if the A-10 did get behind the P-51, there really wouldn't be much of a P-51 left.
You know, it's kind of funny to me whenever we have these kind of counterfactuals, and I know you and I have had our counterfactuals over the history of this as well, but I'm so surprised the A-10 even became a thing. Yes, I want to have a plane that when I fire the main cannon, the entire plane shakes. Like, you have to ask the question, why?
Because they were worried about the Soviet armored push along like Western Germany, because the Soviets had a lot of tanks. So they just needed a plane that could blow up as many tanks as possible in the shortest amount of time. Something, I mean, that's not like direct quote, but I know the reason being for introducing a plane like that was for the proliferation of Soviet armor that was amassing in Europe.
Oh no, and that I totally understand that. But I just mean like it feels like there's a bit of a engineering issue when your entire plane's like, oh my god, I'm having a heart attack as I'm firing. So
yeah. Who needs missile when you've got big gun? I mean, you have missiles anyway, but we just like the big gun.
I know it's got missiles. I've watched Transformers too. Oh my god, that movie's a travesty. And I can't believe I just used that for a joke. There's 242 to the north. I've been getting back to this. Such an overlooked piece of equipment. It's... I don't know why. I have a soft spot in my heart for it.
I like the, just the support tanks in general in the support tab, or if it's STUs or ISUs. I just like things that lob really big high explosive shells. Because just making an infantry squad just disappear in one shot is always really satisfying.
And folks, this is how we know that Rang would either be an orc or in the Imperial Guard if he lived in the Imperium Age.
Just big explosions is all I need. Give me a crate cannon.
Lots of Deka, or a Death Strike.
Yeah.
Now, funny things down to the south of PTRS that caused so many issues, he's still hanging around. He somehow gave the slip to the Ersatz troop, and more equipment just keeps dying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's killed 8 squads by himself. Ulanov over here is a god among men.
Well, I'm really surprised that Ersatz troop didn't like find him and finish him off. I wonder if Tanner's felt like he's being gaslight down south. Like, oh, I brought some infantry, but where did they go? Because I could totally see him missing it. Because it's like right in the corner, or like your bottom right corner for Tanner here. So you wouldn't really notice it, especially if you're trying to focus on the rest of the map. So, god damn, that is one of the most effective PTRS squads we've seen in a while.
Well, to me, it's one of those things that if you're looking for somebody who truly deserves the Hero of the Soviet Union medal, it's this guy.
Hero of the Soviet Union.
Is that not what I said?
The medal. No, you said Soviet Union medal.
Oh, oh no, I think I cut out then. I think I cut out then.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, if there's ever a hero of Stalin, like that's the guy right there.
Yeah.
But slowly, bit by bit, Metalphase seems to be running just ever so slightly out of infantry. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to the, for the frontline troops, spamming those Moskaya pechotas, can't bloody say it. Because they're not like the best troops in fighting, but they got lots of dudes and they got smoke, which is nice. So good for pushing. But as we're seeing, Tanner just has a little bit of extra quality and backing up with all the artillery and tank support. He's just being able to grind down Metalphase and the war of attrition.
Okay, down to the south. Okay, here we go. Look down to the south. Look at these marching orders in the Jaeger Pioneer and the Beakreds. No, seriously, look. You have to look at the marching orders.
We're gonna look everywhere for each pass. I'm glad he's finally figured it out.
That's freaking amazing. That's absolutely hysterical. Tanner, I know a friend of Tanner's actually commented on this last one. Whoever watches this, please, you gotta tell me what the whole thing was going on down there. I have to know in C2 what was going on. But absolutely amazing. Right Jaegers over here, of course, starting to get hit by their own troops. And their zest to push back some of this Soviet infantry. And they might accidentally take a flag back because of it. Nope, okay, never mind. I thought they were going to take a flag back. I was like, how does that work?
I think the Tiger got kaboomed.
Yes, he did.
Oh.
I'm not sure, though, if
it
was... I don't think it was the... I might be wrong, because the KV, I think, only has 30 rounds. No, because the KV just took out the stew, and that was it. I think it was maybe a Zis... It was Zis or just stress overall? I mean, like, you know,
yeah.
You know, paint hit to death.
Mm-hmm. The Tiger's in a pretty good spot, but, I mean, it must have not been that good, I guess, because he died. And that KV is actually in a decent spot now to do some long-range fighting. I don't know, against... I think KV has an advantage over Stug.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
He does, yeah.
Without a doubt. But the Stug is there to provide some leadership to the mortar half-tracks.
Mortar half-tracks are gonna... If this continues this push, the mortar half-tracks are gonna be exposed to a tank. And they don't like being shot at by tanks. They like
but look how quickly again. Nice little move. T-34 being redeployed, so if the KV-85 comes close enough, he's gonna get hit.
We've got infantry being... Well, the Hussarooks have some anti-tank grenades, so maybe they can get in close and heat off an aid in that direction.
As the air slash tube and run in first, so that way the Russians know they're coming.
I looked down south to the PTS squad. Metalphase like moved it back to hide from the enemy patrols. Oh no, he's gonna run into the patrol, and I think his sneaking mission is gonna be over.
But you know what? That man was a god.
Yeah. And we got to see his KD at the end of this, because he definitely knocked out like 8 or so huge.
the Vasily Zaitsev of PTRS squads.
For like, what, a 10-point squad? 5-point squad?
I think it's 10, yeah. Amazing KD.
Yeah. It's flipping fantastic work here.
Like, that man deserves a tactical nuke. Gornostrelkovy over here moving on in against the right Jaegers. This is kind of an interesting matchup. Because the PP Shahs and the DTs and SVTs against the MP40s, oh man. Mm-hmm. This is going to be, you know, 40 guys killing each other in 4 seconds.
So, a lot of firepower.
It certainly is, and part of me wishes it was actually out in the open so I could see even more craziness. But the men are dying in Sylvan Groves. These Gornostrelkovy squads, oh my gosh. Yes, sir?
Now the lead is providing a lot of fire support. But Metalphase has been doing a pretty good job of holding the central position, because he's had this, like, the town on the other end of the crossroad under his control for a pretty long time, just with a few Moskaya, which is pretty good. But now with Tanner bringing in some more infantry reinforcements, I mean, all he has to do is push up a wee bit, and has to be an area under his control. And even though, I mean, we're 30 minutes into the match, Metalphase is a pretty huge point advantage, and I think just the tomfoolery down south has definitely like helped him out a lot, because he still has the flag down south here, and it's only like 3 units.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He's doing another push down south along the northern edge of the lake here, trying to push into the forest, and there's really not much there from Tanner. There's some right Jaegers, but the infantry sport guns helping out. I don't think those right Jaegers are gonna be alright.
Does this too take out that T-34 at the intersection? I think that was the case.
Thinks maybe? Phone a friend?
Probably makes sense. Might see the other A-20C finally go down here, but then again, that 37 mil gonna cause just enough ACAC. The ME-109's not gonna want to get involved. Good play.
Again, the KV-85's up north, pretty much holding the front, really discouraging any extra infantry plays.
I'm trying to just see what other kind of material we have going on here. I like seeing the fact that we're actually seeing legitimate supply trucks being brought on in, which means they actually plan to keep their artillery alive, which is just such a bizarre idea these days anymore.
I know, right? Like, you could either buy supply trucks, or you could buy more off-map artillery. And
how? Oh man, but he's got to drop this about, you know, 150 meters, 200 meters, been absolutely brilliant mortar barrage, but unfortunately not going to be the case for him, so a little bit of bad luck for Tanner.
Yeah.
And I
think he still has a decent amount of Gornostrelkovys, which is keeping him in the match, because those Gornos are fantastic little infantry squads. Well, not little, they are pretty big.
The thing is, to a certain extent, they have to have at least equal numbers parity. Because they are devastatingly way more focused in the short-range fight.
Yeah. Yeah, because you got, I mean, the main firepower is really the 6 PPS-8s, but the SVTs definitely help out. I mean, they help out at close range, but also just a wee bit in medium-range engagements. And then the right Jaegers are such a weird squad, because you got all the SMGs, and then those boat actions, you might as well just turn them off. Because they're just goddamn useless.
Yep.
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 You've got another Tiger being brought in. Try and probably deal with those KV-85s, and it's really not looking that good for Tanner. He has 4 minutes, roughly, to try and make some sort of push happen, and he has to capture not 1, but 2 flags to even out the deal. And so far, Metalphase is a really lovely defensive line, all things considered.
Well, unless we stipulate one thing, I feel like the game would have been over legitimately had those mortar half-tracks been killed a long time ago.
Yeah, they've definitely helped out in just keeping everything at bay. But Metalphase has pretty much held the more important positions, and I think early aggression, especially down south, really set the momentum in his favor.
Oh, agreed. Absolutely agree. KV-85 though, yep, Tagger takes out one of the KV-85s, so I guess the question might be, if the KV-85s die, does that give us an opportunity from Tanner to have a comeback?
Yes, it does, but he still has to get through all the infantry, and that will just slow him down. With only 3 minutes left, I think it's a bit too much of an ask.
True. But here we are. Gornostrelkovy getting taken out. Mortar half-tracks engaged in the KV-85 in a hope that they could force that KV-85 to be a little more stressed. Hey. Doing everything they can to kind of go about this. I think you're right, though. I think that's the right read. I don't think it's going to be enough time to be making our way through this.
It's very good defense from Metalphase.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We see right now this 3 right to Jaegers are just going to get forced into a surrender.
Yep. You got a little bit too close, and yeah, 76mm artillery. Also, the mortar half-tracks responded in kind. We've got tanks down south in the open, providing some pretty good flanking shots here. And the A20 probably going to do some pretty major damage. I think he's going for It's just like bombing the town. Never a bad idea. Might hit the pack 40.
It will.
Yeah.
820 dimes, but you know what? He's actually had some really good cost efficiency as well.
Yeah, he has. We got, I think that's a smoke barrage here from Tanner, trying to keep his right Jaegers alive in that central position, but yeah, it's just too late for him at this. But no, oh look, he got it to a 12-12.
He got it to a 12-12.
Tight,
yeah.
and he doesn't really have momentum. It feels like his southern push is going pretty strong here from Metalphase, and we got off map coming in up north. Unless he can maybe get this like central town where the 2 Gornostrelkovies are to bring it to a 13. I give him a bit of breathing room, but it's looking very sketch.
Well, especially after those 3 squads evaporate and these DP
Yeah.
Moskai Picotas.
Yeah, the Tiger's here. And if he can move up Tiger a bit closer, I mean, there's no real raid here apart from the M3 I don't think the M3 will have a very good time.
No, but that artillery
cool.
will.
Oh,
Yowza.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I was just shut down that person. Even if he does capture the town, which he will, he's just gonna get pushed out of it in 20 seconds. But yeah, it's getting pretty tight here, but
Well, I can still at least imagine some frustration here as the Tiger's getting shot at by a 37 mil. The Lee. This artillery barrage is probably not going to make him too much happier either. Probably just feel like he's getting pestered to death by all this madness.
yeah, not having a good day. And down south we got sneaky Gornostrelkovies trying to do more, well, sneaky things. And Tanner's just barely holding on to, where he's pretty much lost that like flag just northwest of the lake here, but he's gonna regain it. I think just due to the tank position. There we go.
Yes.
But he needs, I mean, he's got tanks coming out the Raju now, Stugs and Tigers. But he needs infantry along that lake. I mean, yeah, he's just holding on to that flag really by one retreating right Jaeger.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. And as if it wasn't enough, 2 more PTRS squads behind enemy lines.
Some real partisan activities here.
Just,
I like
just know that you'll never be Ulanov.
Yeah. It's like he kills one, it's like, it's clear again. Then he moves up reinforcements. God damn it, there's another run.
Well, we have this one KV-85 is being engaged by 2 Stu-42s and a Tiger.
He's not in the best position.
No, but he's got the thickness, and as I've learned from playing World of Tanks, you have to make sure you angle your armor appropriately.
Mm-hmm. And Metalphase has finally got a flag under his control, and that will bring it back to 13-11 for him, and pretty much end the game.
But you know what, honestly, like that, I sincerely wonder if that PTRS squad won the game.
He did a lot of damage. There we go. Ulanov. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Scrotch.
Yeah, he's what, killed 100 points, 150 points of troops? No, it's gonna be even more than that.
Even better than that. Like that's like 2 guys managed to kill
a company and a half.
50?
Yeah.
Yeah, like something along those lines.
Absolutely absurd.
It's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. The Boston doing pretty decent. Even an M3 and some pretty decent killers overall here from Metal.
We have a Hetzer from early on that did decently well. A 45 mil. An SDKFZ that killed 6 things. That's funny. But, I mean, this is the issue anymore. Oh, the Stug? Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the issue, though. You look at Group Harteneck, and you're right to point it out. I still think they're still not as amazing, you're right to say, but I don't think they're quite as terrible anymore. I think the biggest issue is that now you have to be very, very precise in how you apply them.
Yeah, you have to... Before Harteneck, like fighting in towns was kind of an automatic I win in a sense because those Hungarians are so goddamn good.
Mm-hmm.
But losing out on that Hungarian firepower, I mean, you kind of have to rely a little bit more on your Reiter, like Jaegers, and not great.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely true. But hey, I mean, honestly, guys, if one group won all the time, how much fun would that be to actually watch it?
Mm-hmm.
So. All right. So, folks, I think that's going to do it for us for the coverage of the Taylor Bowl Divisions tournament for this week. As always, happy to have you guys with us. Rang, any final thoughts?
Nope.
In that case, then, gang, until next time, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.